The Iron Maiden. Posters across Noxus, one of dangerous criminal, armed with a massive blooded spear and bound atop a magical fiend, whose mere existing poses a threat to the safety. Even some with him, the selective ranks of the Trifarian Legion have begun to worry that they will be sent after fate to tell almost certain deeds. What kind of monster could be behind such heinous unchecked destruction? The simple answer is a 16-year-old girl. The complicated one is a unforgivable. Rell was special from the moment of her birth. The father suffered for was born the daughter of Noxian, named the heir to a fine noble house. They enjoy the trappings of wealth, not the children of reading common those children of the lower aristocracy never trusted her parents, her grand plans to mold her into someone who could shatter through Noxus' dense political landscape. Excellent, his mere assurance, his sacrifice. Rell's unhappiness great with time, sparking something unique with him, her magical unlike anything in centuries. The ability to manipulate Merle to Rell's parents. This was something to be exploited. For Rell sound sick, of course, and they tried unsuccessful to apprentice her with him. Her with many powerful magic who made with their daughter into the political or military elite, but someone else took notice of the young girl's magic, singing in Rell weapon who could one day face Noxus' most hated ancient foe. Certain pale woman visited the family with a dark vision. Rell soon found her the star people of a very special academy, hidden far from capital and away from the cool scene of reading aids, and enthroned they rarely made appearances in her new boarding school. Her mother and father never seemed more proud or more hopeful of their daughter's future. It seemed, at least for a moment, that perhaps Rell would be loved after all. Then the true horrors began. Rell was forced into combat with another student when she was 8, and afterward, a kind of magical signal was painfully grafted into her arm, amplifying her powers so that she could become even stronger. Yet while this had been framed as a training exercise, Rell never served the void again. She never saw any her opponents again. Every day she grew more powerful, honing her magic for martial combat. Her body became covered with sigils that amplified her magical ability to impossible heights. In time, she could wring a vein of rout her from deep out of the ground, twist the wild into deadly weapons, and supercharge in opponents' armor until it collapsed and crushed them. But her instructors deserted even more from her, all into hopes that probably the most powerful soldiers the Empire had ever known. On her 16th birthday, after a particular barbaric duel, she finally had enough. Casting her instruction aside, Rell tore past the guard and ripped open the doors of forbidden wings the academy, discovering the true nature of her school. Every opponent she defeated had been nullified, their magical forcibly extracted from the and placed into every sigil covering Rell's body, and left as motionless puppets devoid of memories. This was the price of her power, and she could never give it back. Worst of all was the headmistress, who oversaw the procedures herself, Rell's own mother. All of this had been for Rell. She sighed, after all, excellence is measured in sacrifice. Rell raged to the small factory who survived her escape from the academy. It was like the air had been torn open into a twisting, within a reasoned short lag. The Wielding Reaper hit itself apart, forming an impenetrable suite of black armor around Rell as she crushed those who stood before her, flattening some soldiers with a lance, halberd and mountains, bursting through the front gate as they made ripping iron. She led as many of the classmates as she could freedom, leaving the rows carefully to recover the Nur and erase any trace of what their organization had done. But it was far too late. Soon enough, the surviving faculty members began to die in increasingly public ways, and the Nur could no longer be kept secret. Rell is now a threat to Noxus, but not in the way the Hot Wheels proclaimed. She is a styled defender of the meek, full of unchecked fury. This is truth for everyone, and merciless toward a government that turned a wild aid to years of suffering and abuse. Not because the Empire was personally responsible, but because they stood by and did nothing. Riding atop her iron steed, Rell are set on nothing less as the complete destruction of Noxus and saving any children who, like her, survived the Black Rose Academy. And there is nothing in this world that can stop her.